Everyone, it's Amy, the roaming historian. If you are new to my channel, I am a history professor and a travel blogger, and I love going to historical sites and then blogging about them on roaminghistorian.com or talking about them on any of my social media channels on Instagram, Facebook, even LinkedIn, and of course X. So um, if you're here today because you've been here before, thanks for coming back. I appreciate you. Today, I thought I'd just recap something. I haven't gotten a big chance to talk about my Toronto trip. So in August, some of you might have, if you've been here before, you remember that I've been blogging from Toronto. And we went there to celebrate my 50th, I'm having a hard time with that, 50th birthday. And so it's kind of was also an anniversary of types for roaming historians. So I started roaming historian in 2015. So this is the 10-year anniversary of roaming historian. And in 2015, we also went to Toronto as one of our first, actually, I think it was the first international trip for roaming historian. So I thought I would just kind of recap some of the things for you guys. In case you didn't read my blog, I do have a blog on it. I'll put the link in the description box below, along with some of the tours I recommend, things I recommend do. So this right here, you can see is the title of my blog, Discover Toronto, History, Culture, and Champagne Sabering. And we'll get to that in a second. Though there is a clip on this channel of the Champagne Sabering at the St. Regis, which was just awesome as all get out. This area right here is right in downtown Toronto. We stayed in downtown Toronto, one, because John's mobility challenged, and so it gave us a great central location in order to be able to grab public transport if we wanted. But we also just had within blocks of our hotel, we had lots of places where we could eat that were great, or we could just run down to the harbor. It was an easy walk. We could go to we caught a game. We caught a Blue Jays Chicago Cubs game at the Rogers Center. That was an easy walk. CN Tower was an ezy walk. So there was so much in that area that I really highly recommend, the area around the St. Regis. And this was right just a few blocks away was the Toronto side. So some pictures. We stayed at the St. Regis. Yeah, it was very luxurious. We had a king suite, a king bedroom suite. And the people, the butler team there had the cutest thing. They had this wonderful, oh my God, it was so amazing, 50th birthday cake for me, which is layers and layers and layers of chocolate cake. And they had this happy birthday sign ready for us when we got there. I really do recommend, we got a deal where we stayed for, I think it was say 3, get 1 free. So that helped with the cost. Though they are part of the Marriott. So if you're a Marriott Bonvoy member, you might be able to stay on points. If you don't want to pay out of pocket, there's other areas. This had, or other options. This had 1.5 bathrooms too. So that was nice. John and I always like to have a little bit of a separate space in the bathroom. So it was nice having that half bath right in the foyer. It was hot when we were there, it was August, but it would have been nice in the winter to have this wonderful fireplace there. And everything was luxurious. It is 6 o'clock every day. They do a champagne savoring. That is part of the House of Astor tradition. And so they dedicated it to me on the first night. They dedicated the champagne savoring. So here's the knife. They did not give me the knife. And here's the gentleman cutting it off and just and then everybody got a glass of champagne. Really nice ritual. There was a few rituals. There's a tea ritual. There was just different rituals that I think really were really elegant and really elevated the trip. And then things to do. So my perfect itinerary, I highly recommend going to St. Lawrence Market. I've been going here for 10 years. There are things like the pea meal sandwich, which is like a Toronto, just something that Torontonians enjoy. Butter tarts, things like that. We had a great smoked meat sandwich there. And the place itself is quite historic, going back to, just hundreds of years of history in that area. So, and they have a wonderful so there's 2 levels. You're going right there, like we go into the main level that you see here on the street side. And then down below is a whole nother level. And down there is also a nice history exhibit. I would highly recommend taking a food tour. I'll leave a link for a food tour below so that you can really get from a Torontonian's point of view what is authentic here, what is, what you can't miss, and what the history is. We also went to the Royal Ontario Museum. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. I'll leave the link to tickets below so that you can book them ahead of time. It made it really easy. I had already booked the tickets, and so all I had to do was just go in and show them. Didn't have to stand in line. Of course, I love the dinosaur exhibits and the Egyptian exhibits, but there was wonderful Greek exhibit, Roman exhibit. There was so many cool things that we got to see all just with a basic ticket. We just had the basic tickets. We didn't even do anything enhanced. And so highly recommend that place. Also, I would be remiss. I don't have a ticket link for these, but I highly recommend you go to Casa Loma. This is a turn of the century mansion built by an industrialist, and it is fabulous. There's not secret that obviously people know about them. There's passageways where servants would have been able to go up to enter rooms. There's tunnels underneath that go to the carriage house. You can climb up into these turrets here. It's just fabulous. Then the CN Tower, that's one of those where if you've done it once, I think that's probably enough. We did it again, but that's because we were on we've been gifted a pass for all the events. So that because it was free, I did that. I thought it was kind of expensive. It was a great view, but I also got a great view from the top of the St. Regis. I think there's a lot of high buildings around there. Not, of course, the height of the CN Tower where you can get a good view. One thing though that I probably would pay the money for is Ripley's Aquarium. Here's the sharks. This place is fabulous. My favorite part, the only part that I would just keep going back over and over and over again to is the Dangerous Lagoon, which is they take you through this tunnel and you have these sharks and rays and all sorts of turtles and everybody's swimming all around you and it's a moving sidewalk, so you can't eat. No one's pushing, no one's getting you out of the way. Sometimes that bugs me about places is that, especially since my husband's mobility challenged and he's in a mobility scooter, I often see people who are in wheelchairs or mobility scooters kind of get pushed aside by people who stand upright and they can't get in. And so with this is very nice because it just moves you very slowly along. You've got plenty of time to take pictures, selfies, and nobody's pushing on you, trying to get up. You get your own time with the glass the whole way. So highly recommend that. Then some other fun things to do is of course the Hockey Hall of Fame. I've been here a couple times. This is where the Stanley Cup is held. There's lots of interactive exhibits. So I'm not a huge hockey person at all. I mean, that's not my jam, but I've enjoyed every time I've been here. I've been here a few times now, fascinatingly, or at least twice. And there's things like you can get on the rink and pretend to be a goalie or pretend to shoot. There's tons of stuff for adults and for kids. In fact, I think I saw just as many adults doing the interactive exhibits as I saw children doing the interactive exhibits. I highly recommend a walking tour, and I'll put some links below for walking tours. I'll show you some pictures too of some, but sometimes you can get like ones with a harbor cruise, or you can get a harbor cruise tour. If I do think I have a link for those, and I'll put that below too. But the harbor, we don't think at least I don't personally think of Toronto as. I think of it as this jungle, right? This big city, this concrete jungle. It's not like that. There's tons of skyscrapers and it's very packed into a very, very dense area. But then there's also the Toronto Islands that you can go hang out. There's beaches, there's the waterfront, and you can just walk for a long time. I didn't get to go, but I hear the Bata Shoe Museum is amazing. So I highly recommend you do that. I'll put a link below. I really wanted to do that and I just ran out of time. I also think I saw the hop on, hop off bus around town. And I think that if you are on the outskirts, that would probably be a better place for you. So depending on where you are staying in Toronto, that might be a better option than riding the public transportation, though Toronto has a great public transportation system. So I don't, I don't want to discount that, but it doesn't come with a tour. And the hop on, hop off bus tells you about the places you're going to. So that's really cool. And then I would recommend, food tours, walking tours. We had some fabulous tours. Like I said, here's the CN Tower, by the way. But yeah, it does show you, this is what I mean. Like a lot of the buildings have like rooftop bars and things like this, so you can get quite up high. There's art everywhere. So as you're walking along, you just are immersed in the culture of the city. There is so much to do. I really wish I could have had more time to eat and go on food tours because there were other areas like Kensington Market area. There was other areas that I had heard about that were supposed to be fabulous. Like their Chinatown area that was supposed to be fabulous. I did have some great food. I have my recommendations in my blog. Like I said, that's linked below. So, but have a great time. Tell me, what do you love about Toronto? Where do I need when I go there next? And I'm hopefully won't wait another 10 years. When I go there next, where do you think I should go? Let me know. Thanks and have a great day, everyone. Ciao for now.